All right, so everyone's asking, how do we fix Facebook? Let's get right to it. So the first thing that's wrong with Facebook is that Wall Street is in control. So look, Facebook didn't want to become a publicly traded company. It was forced to. Here in the US, when the number of shareholders in a US company reaches 500, the company must basically go public. So it was the day that Facebook went public, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, wanted to show Wall Street who's the boss of their new relationship. He showed up to his IPO, his initial public offering, wearing his hoodie instead of his suit and tie. That was Mark's way of telling Wall Street, look, I will be the boss of this relationship. You won't tell me what to do. So what happened to Facebook stock after it went public? In the months that followed, Wall Street showed Mark who's really in charge. The stock price dropped in half over the months that followed, and it looked like it was heading to zero. So that created a real problem for Facebook in terms of its employees. The employees' stock options were becoming worthless. That meant many Facebook employees started looking for jobs elsewhere. Many of them even left. And so the end of Facebook was near, Mark feared. So Wall Street put pressure on Facebook to start generating more profits quarter after quarter. That's what Wall Street does. And that takes us to the second problem with Facebook, its revenue model of selling ads and data and using that data to help corporations make money. Let's jump right into that. So look, Mark was desperate to do anything to increase the profits so that the stock price would rebound. He considered doing what he swore he would never do, and that was to launch advertising inside the news feed. Look, the news feed was sacred space for the users. There's plenty of ads everywhere else, but that little part was meant for the users. Mark remembered all too well that that's how MySpace came to its demise. Way too much ads. And so a decision needed to be made. Would Mark lose his employees and possibly the company? Or would he just break his promise to the users? This decision would turn out to be one of the most important decisions that Mark ever made. Depending on which way it went, Facebook could become something that really made a difference in the world, or mostly, ultimately, just another tool for the enrichment of a few people. So what was the final decision? Well, you guessed it, advertising right inside the feed, right into that sacred space. So wow, look what happened to the stock price. It shot up like a rocket. Mark broke his promise to the users. That is true. But he learned how easy it was to make Facebook's stock price start moving up by simply placing ads everywhere. And Wall Street said, attaboy, nice quarter. Now, do even better next quarter, right? So the company was pressured to increase those profits quarter after quarter by Wall Street through the revenue model that it had, which was selling ads. Well, so the problem with Wall Street is that it constantly wants higher and higher profits quarter after quarter. Mark has now learned that if he doesn't deliver higher and higher profits each and every quarter, Facebook's stock will crash and his employees will leave. Mark knows who's the boss. Wall Street is firmly in charge because he will have no company if he doesn't deliver that to Wall Street. So after a few great quarters, Facebook was running out of places to place more advertising. What could they do now? Well, there was really only one thing left to do: make the ads more effective. But how do you make ads more effective? Well, you basically use customer data to target the ads, right? And so that's where now Facebook finds itself. Keep finding new ways to use customer data that was provided to Facebook with an assumption that it wouldn't be utilized in certain ways, and try to get away with doing that for as long as possible. And so, having already broken their promise to their users, Facebook's formula became a rather simple one. One, quietly use customer data to make the corporations more money by targeting those ads better and better so they'll spend more on your ads. And use that data in any way you can and ask for forgiveness, not permission. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Just do it. And if you get caught, just say you're sorry. Simply act humble, and people will believe you and believe that you're sincere. You'll get away with it every time. That has been the way Facebook has approached this for all these years. Get away with it every time. Exactly how can they do that? Can they really believe that? The answer is yes. It is a core belief of some of the elites that most people are just dumb. Look, many of the elites in Silicon Valley believe they're just smarter than virtually everyone else. Just tell them what they want to hear and they'll believe you. This is what they believe. Why don't hear it directly from Mark in his own words? This is an actual conversation, instant messaging conversation from Mark with a friend. And he's admitted it. So just get apologizing. Get busy. Every time you get busted, just ask for forgiveness. So how did the stock price do after all of this? Well, after being stagnant for a very long time, it started to move. The stock price has gone up over 8-fold over just a 4-year period. And all along the way, it's been an apology tour like no one's ever seen before. Not bad, huh? And how did Mark do? Well, Mark is now one of the world's 8 richest men. And by the way, did you know that the 8 richest men have as much wealth as the bottom half of the human race? We'll get back to that in a moment, but that is a very interesting factoid. Well, this time around, there's a whole lot more apologies going, and people don't seem to be buying it as easily right now. Look at this one article in The Guardian making a joke out of Mark here. I'm very sorry that we've been forced to stop ignoring these data breaches that we pretended weren't our problem. What are they talking about? They're talking about the fact that the latest apology tour, they knew about this 7 years ago. They're just sorry they got busted. And so you can see the media this time isn't really buying it anymore. Too little, too late. The polls show trust is sinking. Less than half of Americans trust Facebook anymore, and most Germans think Facebook and similar social networks are having a negative impact on democracy. But it's stuck. Facebook is stuck trying to find new ways to get away with using customer data to get more money to the advertisers, to generate more profits and keep Wall Street happy. And I wish that was it. I wish that was the only 2 problems there, as if Facebook needs more problems. But the other challenge it's facing is how do you keep users around longer so you can drive them to the advertisers? And that's the third problem with Facebook's model. It's trying to get its customers addicted. That's its product design principle. Look, this is one of the founders of Facebook. It's, in fact, one of his original presidents. He admitted in an article, we were trying to figure out how do we consume as much of your time and attention as possible? What Facebook realized is it's the likes. When somebody likes something that you put out, a post, it gives you almost a dopamine-like rush. And so what Facebook's figured out how to do here to get customers addicted is hold back those likes that you receive and then release them to you slowly on a drip basis to keep you on the site longer and longer. The purpose of this manipulative tactic is to show you more ads by getting you to spend more time on the site so they can make more money. Can you imagine if your email app did that, holding your emails from you that you received? How would you feel about the company that provides you your emails if they didn't give you your emails when you received them, holding them back to try to get you more and more addicted and keep you on longer? Or can you imagine if your phone did that, holding back your voicemail messages or your phone calls and trying to give it to you little by little to keep you on longer? How would you feel about your phone company? Well, this is what people are now starting to really find out is happening with Facebook. Look, Facebook is a utility. It's a tool. Tools are supposed to help you get something done efficiently with less time than you're otherwise able to do. In Facebook's case, it helps you connect with your friends and the world around you. That's what this tool is meant to do. To survive in a competitive world, tools need to get better over time, not worse, at helping people get more done with less time. Look, it's a fact. Any tool company that's working to consume more of its customers' time for the same results will eventually be replaced. And that is pretty much what's happening here to Facebook, as it works harder to get its customers addicted and spend more time so it can drive more revenue to the corporations and ultimately generate more profits for Wall Street. It's finding itself in a self-destructive death spiral. And there doesn't seem to be a way out for Facebook because there's just no way to remove itself from Wall Street. And it has no other revenue model. Almost all of its revenues come from advertising to corporations. And if its users stop using the product as much, it would be generating a lot less revenues and its stock would crash and its employees would leave. So there doesn't seem to be a way out for Facebook. So what we need is a better social network. We need a social network that doesn't have Wall Street in control, where right from the beginning it takes no money from venture capitalists and Wall Street investors. Also, it needs to have a revenue model that does not include selling ads and data to corporations. Right from the beginning, it needs to not even go down that slippery slope. Even though that's the easiest way to make money, which is why most social media companies make money that way, just slap some ads up and you start generating revenues. It needs to find a better social network, needs to find a way to make money that doesn't even start on that road. And finally, a better social network needs to focus its employees on creating products that over time are using less of their time, not more, to give them the same results. Otherwise, it won't stay competitive, and ultimately it will face the same fate as what is going to be happening here, what's happening to Facebook. Okay, but some of you are asking, wait a minute, how would this company pay developers, payroll, rent, servers to build this social network if it has no revenues, if it has no investors, right? How could that happen? Remember, Facebook raised over $1 billion from investors until it didn't need to raise any more money because it became profitable to build its products. And secondly, since most social media companies make money from ads, you're going to need a completely different and new revenue model. You're going to have to innovate one if you're going to build this better social network. And finally, to get all the employees focused on what the users want, not what the shareholders want, you're going to have the employees be accountable right at the top, all the way from the president of the company on down to what the users want and not the shareholders. So how can this happen? And this is the challenge. It's very difficult for these factors to happen for a better social network to come along. But I'm here to tell you some good news, and that is there's a platform called Empower. It's a collaboration between technologists and some of the top professors at the leading U.S. universities, such as Yale University, Berkeley, Princeton, Columbia, and Duke. They've been working for years, thousands of people, for no pay to build a better social network, and they haven't raised a single penny from investors. They're never going to sell ads or data to corporations, and they haven't sold any ads to corporations. So their revenue model, because it's going to need to make money one way or another, is to enable this concept of the sharing of everything. It's not like Uber where it's a sharing of your car, and it's not the sharing of your spare bedroom like Airbnb, but rather the sharing of all the other millions of products that also go underutilized and now can be utilized more fully through really good software and logistics. So the third thing about this platform is focused on giving users more for less of their time. How does it do that? First of all, it pays users for doing the same kinds of things that they're doing in social media like Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter. For posting and sharing photos, blogs, videos, and status updates, users actually get paid. It's controlled by the users. The company's president is actually a user of the platform. He was elected democratically by vote by the other users. And finally, it's owned by the users. Empower is now releasing a new cryptocurrency, kind of like a Bitcoin. It's called the Empower Coin. Users can get it right now for free so that they can participate in the upside if the coin starts to go up in price. And so the goal, you might remember this image earlier where we showed the 8 richest people have as much wealth as the bottom half. So that bottom half lives on $2 or less per day. It's incredible how many poor people there are on this planet. Half of humanity lives on $2 or less per day. The goal of Empower is to help that same half, help them earn a minimum of $25 a day within 7 years from now, 2025. And so to do that, Empower needs to grow to 4 billion users in the next 7 years. And so how's it going to do that? First of all, that better social network we just talked about. Instead of creating yet another billionaire, the idea is to take that same wealth and share it with the people in the social network, but also build in a better marketplace. And Empower's done this. They're building in a marketplace, and it's live today, that's better than Amazon. Why is that? Because instead of buying tons of products, you can just use them with a click within an app. You can have any product delivered to you for virtually free, use it, and when you're done, press a button and it's gone. That's a better marketplace. Of course, you can buy and sell things as well. And so again, instead of creating yet another wealthy billionaire, the power of that is the wealth goes to the community. And finally, isn't this how Bill Gates got so wealthy with Windows, Microsoft Windows, which is a platform for apps to launch? Well, an app platform has been built in Empower to do the same thing. Again, driving the wealth away from the top people to the people that are actually most in need of that wealth. And finally, give the people the cryptocurrency for free, as I talked about earlier. To do that, to serve 4 billion people by the year 2025, we need these coins to go from free to about $1,000 per coin. I mean, look, Bitcoin went from 5 cents to $8,000 or $9,000 in about 6 or 7 years. So if that went to from 5 cents to $6,000 or $7,000, $8,000, imagine what Empower can do with everyone using it in the way they're using a Facebook or another or a platform like that. And so to serve that many people, we need the price of the coins to get to about $1,000 within the next 7 years. So 100% of the initial supply of this coin is being delivered to the people for free, which is completely consistent with the democratic ideals of Empower. This was just announced. So the strategy with the coin, give the entire initial supply to the people for free, and then together as a community, work to drive the coin price up by posting and sharing content, and by providing products and services, and by consumption of products and services, and by sharing things you're no longer using so other people can access them, as we talked about, the sharing of everything, all using the cryptocurrency so that the more people that use the currency, the more demand there is for it, the price starts to go up, supply and demand, right? So what can you do? First thing you can do is get your free coins right now. Go to freecoins.empower.com and sign up for Empower. It's free, and you get your free coins right there. Secondly, promote this video in all your social media channels. Get the word out. We need to get the word out to everyone that there is another option. We don't all have to be slaves of Facebook and continue to drive wealth to a small number of people. There's another way to do this. Now look, Empower is not perfect yet, right? Empower hasn't raised $1 billion like Facebook. In fact, it hasn't raised a single penny from investors. But you've got a lot of people working hard there, and we need you in there. But get in there and help us improve this product. But it's available now. Show up there and sign up. But promote this video so people can learn what's wrong with Facebook and how there's another option. And finally, if you can go to GoFundMe.com/howtofixFacebook and give what you can, we're going to use those funds to promote this video and get the word out. By the way, GoFundMe.com is a product you probably heard of. It was created by 2 of our ex-employees from Empower. Right before they started GoFundMe.com, they were working at Empower. And so this is a big part of how they learned to do that. Today, it's the largest crowdfunding site in the world, generating billions of dollars, helping people to raise billions of dollars, people that need it. So what a great thing to be able to send everyone to that to raise some money. All the funds that come from this page will be used to promote this video and get the word out to others that there is another option. Thank you so much.